see, she put diamonds on the soles of her shoe. Well, that sun went to lose his looking blue. Diamonds on the soles of her shoe. She's physically from one to ten. She slipped into my pocket with my car keys. She said you've taken me for granted because I please you. What the diamonds on the soles of her shoe. Well, like I said, ooh, 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 ooh. As if everybody knows what I'm talking about. As if everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. To keep on diamonds on the soles of her. And put him out of shiver. To compensate for his ordination. Did she see honey take me dancing? But they ended up sleeping in the doorway. All the goodies in the lights in Upper Broadway. When the time was at Susan. Well, like I said, ooh, 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 ooh. As if everybody knows what I'm talking about. As if everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. To keep on diamonds on the soles of us, black or white.
And now allow me to invite the CEO of Marketing Africa, William Kalombo, to welcome us officially, and then we're going to have one speech, and then we serve dinner. This is the Nairobi Hospital Convention Center, in case you're wondering where we are. How many of us have been here before? Very well, thank you. Each one of you will get a reward. If I'm not wrong, you're having an air ticket returned by Silverstone. Your hand has just came up now. Aye. Okay, CEO Marketing Africa, William Kalombo. Karibu.
Good evening, marketers. Good evening. I'm seeing some eyes, they look like they can munch me up. Please don't spare me for the night. I'm humbled tonight that you honored our invitation to share this moment with us. A clap for yourself, please. This forum is a function of a lot of investment. The first investment is by the people who accepted to come and share their stories with us. That is the CEO for Resolution Health, Mr. Peter Nduati. A clap for him, please. Thomas from Strathmore University. A clap for him, please. Strathmore, courtesy of Dr. James Njuguna. James, you can wave. Have been very close partners with us, and we hope that as we journey together with them, we shall deliver enough value to you people. A clap for yourselves. There's a lot of sacrifice that goes into delivering such a forum, and that then requires us to give a clap, a big one, to the brands that sacrifice to invest in rolling out such forums. I'll quickly mention them. I owe them this. Tried Approach, a club for them. The Nairobi Hospital, a club for them. Sarova Hotels, a club for them. Black and White for making you stick down there for longer than enough. The CIM Kenya branch. More Sound. Laser Properties. Big Box. IQ Marketing. James Cambridge International. DSTV. Silverstone. Frontier Marketing. And of course, Safaricom M-Pesa. The reason why we come together all the time is so that we can learn, number one. In fact, learning for Marketers Night is the driving force behind this series. So if you are seated next to me and you are politicking or talking some other things in this forum, sorry, you can hold it until another environment crops up. But for Marketers Night, it helps us to enhance the educative mission that we have as Marketing Africa, enlighten you and help you think out of the boxes. We've seen people come to Marketers Night and start struggling so hard to sell. What are you selling here? It will be important to you to invest in knowing the person next to you. If I were you, I'll dish out maximum 5 business cards so that then I can pull you out of your office environment and engage you more on more business. This is not a forum for selling, I'm sorry to tell you. If you came to sell, keep it to yourself. Number 2, we come, of course, to network. And the clarion call for networking is do not shove it into my face, isn't it? Keep your distance, give me my space, I need my oxygen. If I can connect with you, then you are mine for keeps, isn't it? A clap for me. When we said we are having Marketers Night at Nairobi Hospital, I know we got a lot of feedback from all of you, most of you, sorry, saying we know that place to be a hospital. Are you struggling to convert us into patients so that you can visit? We had an interview with the CEO for Nairobi Hospital, Mr. Gordon Odundo. Wonderful interview. A lot of learnings from it, and we discovered that there's a huge convention center here. For those of you who came slightly earlier, you must have had the opportunity to have a feel. Going forward, we'll do smaller cocktails to help you get a closer feel of what Nairobi Hospital Convention Center has. But when we talked to him, we discovered there's a huge opportunity here for corporates to come and do whatever they want to do, aside from delivering their patients here. So tonight, I want to invite the CEO for Nairobi Hospital to come and officially invite us here, because as I speak this minute, we are still here in a near illegal mode. So let him come and convert us into legal occupants, isn't it? Gordon, kindly come and give a few words to us.
Marketers, good evening. It is indeed a great pleasure to have all of you here this evening on the 12th floor of the Anderson Center. That is the name of our building, and we're very happy that the Marketers Night is being held here. And more interesting for all of us is something that new that is happening. There's a big buzzword out there about disruption. And what the traditional hoteliers are telling us is that the Nairobi hospital is disrupting their business. Who would have imagined that you'd have such an event in a hospital? And I'm sure those of you who are downstairs, you also saw how beautiful our convention center is. So all of you as marketers, you know this, that everybody's watching out for the next level of disruption. And disruption does not come from your industry. It normally comes from unexpected quarters, as it is. So we are very excited to have you all here as marketers this evening. Come together, network, get to know each other, and more particularly to understand that the Nairobi hospital is really, really big in terms of marketing. Those of you who know us very well, we are known for our excellent nursing service. We're known for the expertise of our doctors. We're known for the friendliness, the homeliness that we offer. And sometimes people don't understand us. They think that we're very expensive. But we also give you a price that you can afford. So with that, I'd really like to welcome you this evening for this particular event, but also share with you just a little bit about the building that you're in and a little bit more about the Nairobi Hospital as it were. I have to be very cautious looking at the room. You're all very young, and I want to assume you're healthy. So you'll tell me we don't want to come here again as patients. So I'll tell you, in the event that any one of your family wants to have a baby, this is the best place to be because we have a brand new maternity unit. Those of you who have had friends live here, you speak to that it's really top of the range. For those who happen to also fall ill and need critical care services, we've worked it out very well from our accident emergency and also have a state-of-the-art critical care unit as well in the hospital. We, as a hospital, are about 350 beds where we are. We have a cancer center, one of the best, again, in the region. We also have a wide range of other medical equipment and radiology facilities within the hospital. Recently, we've expanded to have greater reach with all of you. So we have, on top of the outpatient centers at Warwick, which is in Gigiri, the Galleria up in Langata. We've opened recently in Southfield in Embakasi. We're in Capital Center. We'll be opening in Kiambu very soon. And later in the year or early next year, we'll be in Athi River at Crystal Rivers. So Nairobi Hospital is also reaching out, making our products much more accessible to everybody, as it were. And very soon, we hope that we'll also have a community service center because we realize a lot of people are not able to access our services quite closely. I know all of you have one question, those who are downstairs, that you'd like to join our gym. We offer gym facilities to our staff as a way of keeping fit. Yes, you can, but you have to join what we call the Kenya Hospital Association as members to be able to enjoy preferential treatment. So we look forward, Nairobi Hospital, to hosting you tonight up here on the 12th floor, and wish you a really enjoyable evening at the Marketers Night. Karibuni sana. Thank you.
Allow me to invite Rose Luther from James Cambridge. Welcome, please.
Good evening, everybody. So as I wait for my presentation, let me do some credit to my employer. Maybe I might get a raise. GEMS is the biggest educator in the world. We educate over 200,000 children every year. We're represented in 20 countries. In Kenya, we only have the one school on, somebody said it's on Magadi Road. Well, it's on Magadi Road, but it's not in Karen. It's actually in Rongai. We just like to think that it's in Karen. We have a massive expansion strategy to build about 150 schools in Kenya by the year 2020. But these schools would be what you call affordable. So they would be the schools that you pay about $200 a year, and another 150 in Uganda, and approximately about 800 across the continent. So we're on a massive expansion strategy across the continent. My presentation is not about what we do. It's just something for you to think about education and how relevant education is going to be in 2030. When you ask kids who are in their teens what is most important to them in terms of life, even when it comes to education, these are the things that are important to them. I won't even take you through them because you're all marketers and you know all this. But the most important to kids is actually Strix. Strix is the biggest thing for them. It's the biggest connection for them. So the inspirational teacher has to understand that he has to teach children in an unstructured way. And the less inspirational teacher is redundant because your kids are learning through Google, YouTube, and online platforms. In simple terms, we as schools address 4 key domains: technology, behavior, content, and environment. I don't need to explain any of those because you all know what those are. This slide is really important because if we go back, this is how students are being taught, but this is what is happening in the world. Kids are in the internet. You are all on the internet. This is where learning is actually taking place. But we're still teaching them in a different facet of education. Now what has happened is we have to focus on technology because we want our kids to become technologically savvy. So to change this behavior, there has to be a couple of things that you have to do. Change the way they learn, change where they learn, and change how they learn. The Kenyan curriculum, the current curriculum is competency-based, where we're trying to move to. A competency-based curriculum, for those of you who don't know, means that a teacher should be able to teach math. For example, if you're teaching math, you should be able to teach math to a 6-year-old, to a 12-year-old, to a 15-year-old, because you're competent. Unlike the way we were taught, remember our class 2 teacher taught us everything. They taught us geography, they taught us English and Swahili and everything. But in the competency-based curriculum, what ideally should happen is a teacher can be put in front of any student and they should be able to teach at whatever level the child is in. Technology has been around for many years and it's now evolving. So we need to teach students how to cross the road and not ban the cars, and I will explain that in the next slide. McDonald's in Phoenix is run by robots. This is what is happening in the world. In some of our schools in Dubai, that hasn't happened here, the students are actually being taught by droids. So you walk into a class and you actually have droids. You don't have it. The only human intervention is to teach soft skills such as behavior. But in terms of education, it's actually being done by robots. So for us to respond and prepare the students for this world, we need to evolve. So when we started school, most of us here were going to school, we were using the pedagogy. Pedagogy means that the teacher is king, which means whatever your teacher told you is what you believed. And then the world moved to andragogy. What happens in this is there's a bit of content sharing between the student and the teacher. But where we're moving to heterogogy, the student is actually king. The student actually will demand what it is that they want to learn. Therefore, the teacher has to be advanced to understand what it is that they need to teach a child. For example, you could have a student who is doing grade 5 math, but their English skills are grade 2. Therefore, the teacher needs to understand that this child is doing grade 5 math at that level, but they need to do grade 2 English, which means the teacher has to adapt to the child as opposed to the child adapting to the teacher. And to convince parents and students that all children must get what are called the 4 A's in terms of adaptable skills in academics, art, and athletics, so that you can prepare your children to be global citizens. This is how they need to adapt to the world. But we also need to be bold and radical in determining what the content and the curriculum will be. That's the end of that. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Multi-Choice Kenya's Winfred Aringo.
So good evening. My name is Winnie Aringo, Trade Marketing Manager for Multi-Choice Kenya. So I know for you this is not the people who were here last time. I gave a talk. So before you start rolling your eyes and start wondering what DSTV has to offer, I'll give a chance to my colleague from Showmax, who today is going to give us the sweetener for the day.
Thank you, Winnie. Good evening. Let me just get my ducks in a row. First of all, is a special thank you to the organizers of this particular event. our keynote speakers, marketers present, and of course the guys like us who are just here basically for the happiness, right? Wow, thank you, got the joke. My name is Tony Njogu, and I work with an amazing team that's called Showmax under the big umbrella and the multi-choice. Showmax is the subscription video on demand platform for multi-choice. That basically means we are the movie guy in your pocket. As Showmax, we do pride ourselves in being the first subscription video on demand platform in Africa. Basically a platform that you can be able to access through multiple devices for many categories, basically series, movies, kids shows, and of course infotainment. Showmax is a library of thousands of shows, of binge-worthy shows actually, accessible to multiple devices with international brand and African content as well as our local content with shows like, how many of you have ever heard of a show called Selena? Antiboss. I picked the right shows, eh? Jella 5-star. Wonderful, that's great. So those are some of the amazing content that you can actually find on our platform. Currently, we do have amazing engagements with DSTV and M-Pesa, and it's great that both of these parties are actually partners for this particular event. With DSTV, how many of you actually have a DSTV premium subscription? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm losing count. Okay, that's amazing. Because for as long as you have a DSTV premium account, it's possible for you to access Showmax at absolutely no extra cost to your subscription. So that basically means zero cost to access Showmax, right? And how many of you have M-Pesa? Come on, guys. There's I think the team for M-Pesa, where is it? Where's the M-Pesa team? You should have brought a recruitment drive over here. So for M-Pesa, what we have is we have a 3-month subscription for the low price of 250 Kenya shillings. So as long as you have an M-Pesa account, you just go in there, go to our pay bill number 852552, and you're good to go to actually get 3 months of Showmax for 250. For more of this, actually, we are the guys that are going to be blocking the elevators. So we're going to make sure that none of you goes without a subscription. So once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Winnie.
So we also have some leaflets on your table. So all of you who are on DSTV Premium, you get Showmax for free. And these little leaflets will guide you on how you can download Showmax on your phone, on your tablet, and on the people who have smart TVs on your smart TV screen. So thank you so much. Enjoy your evening.
So ladies and gentlemen, please let us put our hands together for one of our keynote speakers this evening, Mr. Thomas Mundia, Director, Coaching and Executive Mentoring, Strathmore Business School. A round of applause, please.
Now, one of the most amazing things about the human person is the very fact that they're very different from animals. If you've watched wildebeest crossing the Mara, you will notice that they are constantly crossing the same place, being eaten by crocodiles. And none of them sits down to have a meeting to ask themselves, how can they put up a bridge probably and avoid this thing that they're doing every day. But the human person is unique because we're the only ones that are capable of reasoning. You should have seen us going to serve a few minutes ago. I noticed 4 types of servers when we went to serve. I don't know if you were observant. There are some of you who went to the serving point and did not start serving and went around every point to confirm what was there before you started serving. There's another group that went direct. They knew that theirs is chapati, the goat meat, and they're out. And there's another group that spent most of the time enjoying themselves, catching up with everyone, and everyone was waiting for them to move. And they're still in the queue, and you're wondering, well, will they serve? And then there's a last group that really didn't care much what exactly happened. They were there to eat and leave as soon as possible. The human person is unique. And apart from the fact that we are different in the fact that as men and women we are different, we're also very different in our personalities. A man is told by his wife, go to the store, lay down the mulch, wash and wax the car, get the kids at school, rent some videos and finish the rest of the dishes. What does he hear? Go lay down and get some rest. Today when I was coming here, I noticed a difference that is there between myself and my wife. My wife is here with me, my biggest fan. And one of the things I was doing is that there's a parking that has a shade. I don't know if any of you who came when it was raining. I think some of you came later. But those who came earlier, some of us were fighting for the shade. So when I was trying to reverse, the problem with me, I was not decided. So I revised into this one and I think, no, maybe the one in front is better. And then my wife kept telling me, can you just decide? And we will lose this parking. What is so unique is that apart from the fact that we are different as men and women, today I'm going to help you discover something that is very important. All of us have something beautiful within us. A potential, a greatness. But the beginning of wisdom starts by knowledge of self. There are a lot of us who are in the workplace who are simply existing and simply work in, work out, but have never found what they were created to be. They've never found their meaning, their purpose, and therefore work for them does not really connect with them. And that's what we're going to be addressing. Each of us has 3 facets. And the thing you've just felt right now is a combination of all these things we've described. One is that which you're born with. That is your nature. It's what you call your temperament and comes from biology. Secondly is character, which is what you develop, the habits you develop that make who you are. You've noticed something. We're all in Nairobi. Somebody who grows up in Eastlands and the one who grows up in a place like Westlands are very different. I grew up in Eastlands. I don't know if there are Eastlands people who grew up in Eastlands. Umoja, Buruburu, Ziwani. Where are you guys from? Okay, then let's use another place. Karen, Mudaiga, Kileleshwa, village. Now let's use village. You will realize that people who grow up, those who've grown up in the village, look at the numbers. They are now increasing. You will notice something with those who grew up in the village. You are conditioned by your environment to be a certain kind of person. The very fact that you encountered and engaged a lot. Allow me to use this. For those of us who grew up in the village, you'll realize that because you encountered nature a lot, you played with mud. You notice? Now our houses are built with cabro. There's so much cabro works. There's no space for our children to play. And as a result, the challenge is that you don't see much innovation today. The people in the rural area encountered mud. They knew how to play with dirt. They created games. Now today our children, we have to beg them to go out to play. Our parents used to beg us to come back home. All that conditioning makes the sum total of who you are. Now we are ready for the results. Good people, you have 4 columns with you, isn't it? Look at the sheet in front of you. It has 4 colors. And those colors are the ones we're going to be talking about, because each of us, please note, as I give the results, we are all a combination of all the 4. You noticed you scored in all the 4, isn't it? So you're not just one. But I'm going to refer to the one that is the primary one, which is the one that scored the highest out of the 4. Can you mark it, please? Now I want by show of hands. This is where the fun begins as the results get coming in. Trickling in from the tallying stations. From the centers as they come. Yes, Tarakanithi is about to come. That's normally the last one. Now those of us by show of hands who scored the highest was the yellow column. Column 1. By show of hands. Sorry, my apologies. Column 1 is red. The red. Those who scored highest on red. I see by show of hands. Red scored the highest. Look at the room around you, please. Because I want to confirm something, a theory, whenever I do this action. All right, put your hands down. Quite a good number. Let us see how many of you scored highest was column 2, the yellow one. Column 2. Now this is very interesting, good people. Look at the number of hands. Which one between the two so far scored higher? The red one, isn't it? Now which one? Now the third one is the green one, isn't it? Those who scored highest was green, column 3. Few outliers. You notice? Fewer. The last column is the blue one. Those who scored highest column blue. The last one. Now what then is the conclusion when we look at this room? The majority of us in this room fall into which category? Red. Isn't it? Category red. Now I'm going to release to you the results. Now please remember, we're a combination of all these factors. We are married to these colors. We have children who have these colors. We have bosses who have these colors. We have people in our team who have these colors. So as I describe them, those of you who have not gotten a spouse, this is a good opportunity to prepare yourself so that you don't make the mistakes some of us who made later because we didn't have this information. It is important to know the color that you are and the color that you're going to be marrying. Are we ready now? So these are the 4 colors. They mean these 4 colors. Those who are red are called cholerics. And I'm going to be telling you what they mean. Oh, you're amazing individuals. Those who are yellow are called sanguines. And those who are green are called phlegmatics. And the last ones are called melancholy. But let me tell you what they mean. Because this is very important when you're developing an individual. I am sure every single one of us wants to develop to succeed, to be their very best. Now, for you to find your potential, it starts from first knowing what are your natural strengths. So let's go one by one. Now, there's a reason I'm starting with these two colors. I did that deliberately. You notice how people become uncomfortable when they silence. Because the colors I'm about to introduce, the 2 colors love silence. They're the most misunderstood colors in this world. And there's somebody who's written a book called Susan Cain. The book is called Quiet. And these are the introverts. Many of them are never recognized. Many of them are never heard. I teach in a university. These people, they never raise their hands up. Yet many times they have gifts that I'm going to be presenting to you. Those who raise their hands that are strong, blue is the last column. This is your natural strengths. This means this is your preference. This is naturally who you prefer to be. But remember, all of us can improve. The only time we stop growing is when? Exactly, when we're reading your eulogy. That is the time you stop growing. Because remember, at 65, we had somebody who came up with the idea of KFC. There is hope for each one of us. Isn't it? Now, melancholists, these are amazing individuals. Perfectionists. If you're working with them, everything has to be perfect. The table, the stapler, the pen has to be in the right place. You can tell them by their suits, they're ironed correctly. If you're married to this one, I can tell you, good people, you can't leave that house until you are up to the standard of that person. Socks are kept in a certain drawer, in a certain order. And unfortunately, they keep changing that order. They keep removing the socks from that drawer and put it in another drawer. Now, the other colors will be suffering. There's a color I'll be introducing to you that really suffers with this particular individual. These people, their natural strengths are the following. They are perfect. They are motivated by perfectionists, doing things perfectly. Now, I want you to have 2 things in mind as I present good people. One is self-knowledge. Secondly, is how this can be used to profile customers for effective marketing. Because remember, at the end of a product or service that you're giving is a human person. Complex, unique, with many aspects. We sell our products, but people resonate with it differently. For example, if you tell me reach for greatness, I always wonder about that reach for greatness. Sometimes you've taken 4 or 5 of them. There's not much you can reach for. Even your wallet, you can't reach for it. But reach for greatness, for example. These people, melancholy is perfect. Justice. These people have a sense of fairness. At the line there, you don't jump the queue. Wait. No, not for the blue ones. They believe that people have to follow order. In the traffic, they're the ones who get mad because everyone is cutting in front of them. They like people following the order of where things are done. Now, their strengths, they are beautiful analysts. You put these people in market research, they thrive here. These are the people who love those back jobs where they can analyze data. Give them analytics, they love it. They're in their area. They are very astute because they're thorough, unlike another color we're about to introduce. And they love tasks. Remember that about them. Every single color has a beauty about it.
Every single thing. This is what makes the world beautiful. Is that we are all a complex and a combination of beautiful gifts we all bring into the world. The second color. Now, man, the ladies who are here, let me describe this husband if you're married to this one. Have you come home one day and you are in a crisis and you're describing how maybe the child is sick, we need to take the child quickly to hospital, and your husband has a blank look. No emotions, nothing. No feelings, nothing. Blank. And you're trying to describe the urgency of taking your son to Nairobi hospital. The husband is wondering, what is the excitement? These individuals are least understood. These individuals have an amazing gift. They love the status quo. They don't like things changing. They're the type of people, if the tasks are this way, please don't keep, we are okay the way we are. In fact, when you invited them for this event, let me tell you, these people struggle with the fact that it's going to be a mingling. They do not, what is this mingling? There's colors that will love the fact that a night out, we're going to hang out. This color would love to sit at a corner there and just enjoy their drink quietly without much interaction. But they have natural strengths. They love, their motivators are peace, status quo, solitude. Now remember, there is no color that is better than the other. There's a reason I've done this deliberately. Whenever I train and I start with this, I put these colors last. The other two I'm about to describe are very loud. And therefore, they think they're the best gift to earth. But I am about to bring them down to reality on the challenges they face. These colors are the best. They make the best friends. They're the most loyal. They listen. But then if you're married to this one, ladies, you come home, you have details about your hair, 6 hours torture. You come and tell us about, Sijui, the children are not well. This husband will listen to you very calmly, with no expressions. There's another one I'm about to introduce. That one, ladies, if you're married to it, I wish you luck. They trust and they are excellent team worker. Now remember, we all have the 4 colors. Remember? But we're talking about the dominant one. Let's go to the third one. Now, this is the majority of this room. The reds, the cholerics. Now, there's only one problem when a room is full of cholerics is what the MC has been struggling with. Chaos. The reds are loud, full of activity. They cannot settle down. And it's because the challenge with a red, and those, I'm glad to hear there's an educator here. If you have a child who's a red, they can't stay still. This child has already figured out what you wanted to teach even before you come there. You know how you come as the teacher? Today we shall learn about the insects or whatever. The child already knows that insect can even give you 10 times. So what happens? They are bored. They're wondering, what is this teacher going about? Majority of the teachers, I did an assessment for the 2 schools that we did this research with. Majority of our teachers in our schools are those 2 colors I described. You know the first ones? Those are the majority of our teachers. They're melancholies and phlegmatics. You remember those teachers? You remember they used to come and say, good morning, children. Today we shall study. And you're probably this kind of person. Let me describe you because you're the majority. This color loves power. They love to control. They love a challenge. That is why you're marketers. It makes sense. You love opportunities. Anything that drives you to do things. You're constantly on energy. You're bubbling constantly to do something. You can't stay still. If you're married to this one, ladies, if you're married, this is the ones I was telling you earlier. The challenge with this one is that you immediately want to tell them something. At how your day went. They tell you, I already know what you wanted to say. Or you come and say, my boss looked at me badly and you know what they say, you just quit the job. What is the discussion here about? It's bottom line. These people are bottom line. They have no time for details. No time. Now, because of their fast nature, the challenge with them is that they go into things very rush. And they can miss out very small details that are the strength of which color? Which is the color of great details? Yes, I'm just making sure we are together. Now notice how each color complements the other. And that is why the success of any organization is the combination of these 4 individuals. Because they all bring strengths. So these people are decisive, they are daring, they are focused. We are buying land here in the next 5 years. If you're married to them, they already have a 10-year plan. And you're not giving suggestions, you follow the path and follow them as they're going. They're not asking for your opinion. They've already given you the roadmap, strategy. It's already been decided. Let us move on. But there are also women like this. They're now called alpha females. This is the new phenomenon in the workplace. Hey? Because demographically the workplace has changed. We have a new species called the alpha female. Those of you who are, you can imagine an employee who's a phlegmatic being led by an alpha female. Because he's there, he's being asked, hey? Where is the reports? Hey, I am still working on them. What are you working on? We need to move. The company needs to move forward. Because these people are very fast. They move things fast. Now they are contemporary. The group that is extroverts like them. Oh, this group. I thought you guys, by the way, when I was coming here, my assumption is that I would find that the majority of you here are actually the color I'm supposed to describe. But I am wrong. Very wrong. But it tells me a lot because I keep learning every time I display this thing. Now this group, probably you've met it. Oh, they are the life of the party. This group, they know themselves. You can see them. Look at how, even when they're being introduced, they're animated. You know, this group goes to a party, you'd think they know everyone in that party. They're arriving in a party, they've never known anyone in this place. You'd hear them high-fiving everyone. Where have you been? You think they've known them. These people lead with their mouth. Now, let me tell you, of all the 4 colors, this color has the less stress. This color. Why? Because they don't keep things for long. If you're married to this man, who is this color? Hey, today you're moving to Runda. Tomorrow you're moving to Muthaiga. That is the only problem. They are very optimistic about life. It's their natural strength. They tell you how they are going to buy a house in Muthaiga when the bank balance does not indicate anything close to that. Their natural strength is that they love popularity. They love being at the center stage. They're motivators. So if you notice something with all these motivations I'm showing, if you're in a job that doesn't complement these motivations, you will die. When you meet a person who's saying they are stressed or demotivated, it's many times either they have less energy than the role they're playing, or many times they actually have more energy than the role they're playing. They're optimists. They communicate. Let me tell you, if you want somebody, these people sell a fridge to an Eskimo. Don't joke around with these ones. These are the people you put in the forefront for PR. To sell any product, they will sell you anything, even that which is not even there, including information that you not even asked for. This is them. Full of party, full of life. Now notice all the 4 colors are lovely. All of them with their natural strengths. And they can easily adapt. Give them any environment, they will adapt. They are never bored at any moment. Now, since the majority of you are cholerics and red, let me underline something that you need to always keep in mind. Reds always believe that they are the monopoly of information. And because the world revolves around them, one of the challenges they face is that the color, which color do you think reds have the hardest time at dealing with? From the ones I've described. It's green. Somebody is right. Green. It is green. Now, these are what we call bipolar opposites. So therefore, the yellows have a problem with which color? The blues. Now, interesting enough, we end up marrying those people that are bipolar opposite. This is the amazing thing about life. For some reason, we seem to always be attracted to the ones that are very much our opposite. Now, as I mentioned, those of you now notice if you have a number 1 and a number 2. You notice you scored another one that was second. Isn't it? Now, some of you might have even had a tie. If you have a tie, just assume that one of them is 1 and the other one is your second. Now, how you tell, those of you who are reds, let me speak to the reds because you're the majority for now, but bear with me. Those of you who are reds and then your second is blue, by show of hands. Those of you red who raise their hands for red, but their second color is blue. Those are the ones I'm looking for. These are what you call task-oriented individuals. My friend, these are workaholics. These people push pedal. No joke. These guys don't joke. The only language they understand is completion of results, tasks. So if you come with them with woye about the companies, motivating people so that they can feel they belong to the organization, they feel nothing. Now, interesting enough, those who are yellow and then those who are red and their second was yellow. By show of hands, wah! Look at that. Now, red and yellow means is what we refer to as a super extrovert. My friend, this is energy galore. Yeah. I'm not surprised. Yes, you are. Look, Peter, I've known you for a while. I'm not surprised you're in that category. These people can you imagine combination of focused, forthright, daring, and then add the tongue. Add loudness. I mean, that is energy galore. These people cannot stay still in one thing. Some of you have children like this, and that's the point of this session. I know I have a very short time, but normally we use this to train on many things. Can you imagine how beautiful this would be if you profiled your children, those of you who are parents, and you began to appreciate why you fight with a certain child? As a parent, why is it that you find it difficult to relate to a certain child? If you're a teacher, why you find it so hard to relate to a certain student? And if you're a boss, I can see CEOs in this office, in this place. You can see where my head is. And as a CEO or as a team leader, you ask yourself, why is it that there are certain team members I really have a hard time dealing with? Now, as introduced earlier, my job is to coach people. The number one job of a coach, more than anything else, the most important skill a coach is required of is actually the ability to listen. Which color has listening as its strength? I can see I have people with me following me. It's green. Now, many people think coaching is about telling people what to do. It isn't. Those are good mentors. That's why reds make very good mentors. Because they're the custodian of knowledge. So they want to tell people what they should do. Isn't it? But the colors, reds struggle very hard with the profession of coaching. Because coaching is adjusting. It is sitting there or next to somebody and listening and nodding. I remember the day I was taught the skills of coaching. I went to try them out with my wife. She's here. Didn't they backfire? You know all those things you're told that when somebody talks to you, eye-to-eye contact. And nod and say, I hear you. And I was told women love those words. I hear you. And the phone you can see, it's reminding you Arsenal is about to play. And you're, I hear you. I do hear you. You know, women, you're gifted with the ability of being able to speak twice or three times the number of words we can speak. And there's a reason. God was very wise. God never makes mistake. And sometimes you can come home after a long day, and marketers have a lot of respect for you. You have done market research. You've dealt with difficult clients. Your product is not selling, especially the men. I'm speaking to the men. And then you have to go home with a little amount of words now left. You have to store them very carefully. So that because when you land home, the wife expects you to engage. And when she asks you how your day was, she doesn't expect an answer of fine. But yet what's most amazing, and it's a characteristic of the blue color, if you're a lady today and your first color is blue, show of hands, ladies, and your first color is blue, I have a lot of respect for you in a comical way. One of the most amazing things women can do is the ability to have 5 topics in a conversation. Let me illustrate. Please bear with me and watch me as I illustrate. Those of you who know Nyayo Stadium roundabout, it's the most difficult roundabout to concentrate. So you're coming from Langata Road, and your blue wife starts talking about the child who's not well. So you, the man, many times you're red, you immediately go into solving. You know, we typically want to solve. The fact that you're already a man and then you have red is trouble already. So you hear house help. For you, you're already channeling what is the solution. But before you finish giving the answer, she's gone to her hair. Now, the man here is where the confusion come out. You're now approaching the roundabout. The next thing, she brings up the topic of the house help looked at her badly. Now, the killer is when you approach the roundabout. Full concentration is needed. Motorbikes are coming, matatus are coming in, and now the woman asks you the $1 million question. Just when you're about to enter the roundabout. Am I fat? Now here is where experience comes in. If you're a red husband and you're a rookie, you're most likely to answer yes. And the danger with that is that the diet will change for the entire week. I can assure you, You will be wondering why she's carrying a long face. It's because of lack of experience. So let me give you a little bit of experience. 16 years being in this game. This is why you play it very, very smart. Because the answer you give will determine the relationship going forward. Because women are very particular about that. You don't answer like a friend of mine was being told. The wife wakes up in the morning, she starts saying, oh, my skin is falling. Oh, my behind is looking like how? So my front has done what? Oh, you know the common complaints we have in the morning looking at the mirror? So the woman turns to the husband and says, husband, please tell me something positive about myself. And the man says, you have excellent eyesight. Now, good people. Now, good people. I don't know how much time I have. I was meant to have a question time, but I don't know if I have time. The MC, because I've actually finished. My job was just to highlight these points, because honestly, when you're giving a talk like this, you only have a very short time. And I'm aware as you're drinking, whatever you're drinking, your visibility is changing. And somebody gave me wisdom one day I've never forgotten. As a man, and this is a rule for the men, those who like going out to the pub, I learned this and it's helped a lot of men be able to save their marriages. When you go to a pub, look for the ugliest bartender. The ugliest. Make sure you're being served by the ugliest bartender. The minute you start drinking and she starts looking beautiful, is your cue to go home. Those are words of wisdom, and they have saved many marriages. And they could save yours tonight. My advice as I close is this, because I don't think there will be time even to be able to take questions. Each of you sitting here as I close is a gem. Each of you is created wonderfully, beautifully. You're a gift to humanity. And it is important that you discover that which you were created for. Because otherwise you live this life living for other people. We are pushing products and services for others, but the most important product we need to push is ourselves. Before you're 20 years old, we want to change the world. By the time you reach 30, you realize, let me just work on Africa. By the time I reach 40, you realize, man, Kenya will do. By the time you reach 50, you say, my village. 60, my family. After 7, you realize the person you should have fixed is who? Is yourself. You owe it to yourself, ladies and gentlemen, to take care of yourselves, to build your brand, which is you. You're constantly a brand. Many people will be around telling you you're worth nothing. Or you'll be told things that might hurt you. But remember, you were created for greatness. That's all you are, created for greatness. And also remember, as marketers, good people, at the end of your product and service is a human being, a human person with needs. And when you're serving them, remember you're serving a person with dignity. And when you meet the needs, and the most important need is trust, because business is built upon trust. If you think you are too small to make a difference, you haven't spent the night with a mosquito. And I want to tell you, just take small steps in your life to start making the difference of the person you want to be. It just takes that one step. And the first step is saying, I want to do something and take ownership of my life and make it something. And that every day is going to be better every single day. And as I close, there's one place I always live, I never forget to talk about. And that is the most important place where each of us needs to protect. And that is the home, the family. At the end of the day, when we bury you 6 feet under, we won't care much about which product you pushed. The only people who will accept you for who you are is your family. Your jobs, and we've seen it on TV without naming names for security reasons, your jobs will only be interested in you as long as you're pushing productivity. Immediately they drop and you leave. They will replace you quickly and pay somebody less, and they'll be talking about what you are a waste of space while you are there. It's the reality of life. Take charge of your lives, good people. Make destiny with your life. Find what you are created for. Find meaning. With those few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
To speak on behalf of Laser Properties, Lab Trust, and CPF, Irene Bonge.
Good evening, marketers. I'm standing here on behalf of Irene Bonge, who is supposed to be talking on behalf of Laser Property Services, which is an arm of Lab Trust, or County Pension Fund. My name is Marucha Jonathan. CPF is one of the institutions that has been transformed from a pure parastatal to a competitive, transformational corporate institution. We started off dealing with pension for local authority staff in 1929. And I believe none of us was there that time, including Mr. Nduati. Were you there? Okay. It started off as a pension scheme for the local authorities, but then fast forward, we have transformed the institution through the transformational leadership of a gentleman called Hosea Kili. He's the group managing director of County Pension Fund. And County Pension Fund Group, or CPF Group, has 6 institutions in one. We have 3 pension schemes and 4 companies. One of the companies is LESA, which is the one that has sponsored tonight. LESA deals with properties, and one of our newest showcase is along Langata Road. If you're young enough, you remember Size along Langata Road. How many of you were in Size? Size Langata Road. Not the one at Timwell. I'm not talking about the 16, 17-year-olds. Size, the size that was a stand chart. Yes. That property has now been transformed. It is a mixed-use property, and it has 250 units, apartments, and a shopping mall. The mall was opened like 3 weeks ago. It's called Freedom Heights. And the fascinating thing about the property, we are the first people to have developed a property with piped gas. Have we had piped gas in Kenya? Yes, so if you are about to buy a unit, please talk to Lesser Property Services. We have 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and 4 bedrooms.
Allow me to invite, ladies and gentlemen, to speak on behalf of More Sound, Dennis Ndavi.
This time, I have nothing to say. Actually, the only thing I'll share today is after all these years in the business, I've begun to get weary. Tired of that square shape of a PowerPoint slide. Have any of you been there or getting there? Tired of long presentations. So I'm trying to also reinvent myself and finding new ways of saying a lot of things quickly, effectively, and getting to the point. It's a quest I must do, not just for myself, but for the poor clients who have to stand through my 150 slide presentations. So I'll share my first attempt with you. At Energy Radio, we've gone through a lot of changes. Radical, fast changes, because we've come a long way in the last 6 months. Instead of talking about it, why don't I just summarize it in a 1-minute video? Does that work? Saves time? You got volume on that?
And gave them a new brand. We made it into a radio station. We gave it a beat, a heart, and rolled it out countrywide. Then we gave it superpowers. Introducing Africa's first ever visual radio and the first truly digital and social radio experience. Telling brand stories through engaging in-studio, on-air, digital, and experiential activation. With enhanced listener experiences in our multiple digital music platforms, choose your brand's musical style and enjoy a native brand experience that sells your message without killing the vibe. So don't ask what your brand can do on radio, ask what radio can do for you. Energy Radio. The beat of the moment. We talked to the audience and gave them a new brand. We made it into a radio.
Drops mic. Good night. Thanks.
Allow me to invite Stanley Mbao to speak on behalf of Sarova Pan-Afric.
Good evening. My name is Beatrice. I'll be representing Mr. Mbao. And thank you so much for coming. But first I want to know, how was your food? From the soup to the main meal to the dessert? All right, great. You're most welcome. Please don't forget about the bar over there. You're most welcome to go and have a drink while you're there. Also, thank you for coming. Sarova is one of the partners for this marketing night. And we are delighted that you came. It would be a worry if we all cooked the food and you didn't come here. I hope you're learning a whole lot. Sarova has various properties. We start with Pan-Afric. We have Stanley, both in Nairobi. We go to White Sands in Mombasa. Then Nakuru, we have 2 outlets. We have the newest one, Woodlands, and we have Lion Hill. Then we have the Mara, Shaba, and we also have one in Taita. You are most welcome. The holidays are here. Please come and stay with us. Before the festive season, come and have your conferences in Pan-Afric, in Woodlands, in Stanley. We will feed you as we have. I hope you liked it. I hope you come some more. And also, you're most welcome in all outlets. On behalf of Sarova Fraternity and Mr. Mbao, thank you very much.
IQ Marketing, Judy Kabugi, please come forward.
Good evening. Mine is short. IQ Marketing is a fully fledged agency, but most people know us for our outdoor advertising. We have 75% of street poles. Actually, what we do is more of street poles. So we have 75% of street poles in CBD and the outskirts of CBD. And now we have the other services in terms of being an agency. But tonight we have an offer for advertising. So if you take 25 street poles, we'll give them to you at 10,000 and get 5 for free. So you can come and see me, and the offer is valid until, let me see, next week, end of month. Yeah, end of month is Wednesday. Yeah, yeah. So give us a call. Our contacts will be put up there, but I'm right there. I can give you out my card. So yeah. Yeah.
Allow me to invite, on behalf of Nuvera, Jackie Minor. And believe me, they have giveaways for every single one of you. Jackie Minor, please.
Hi. I'm those people who don't like talking. Tulitwa nini? So, if I get shaky somewhere, msinijudge sana. Anyway, so, warm greetings have been sent to you all by me both, our Alchemy Brands Limited CEO. He prefers not having his name mentioned a lot. This, at Alchemy Brands, can I read? At Alchemy Brands, we operate under the core value of good for mankind. That means we produce good quality, that is good quality products that are good for your consumption physically, and they're also good for the environment. And I must admit, we have been amazed but the support you have all given us as fellow marketers over the years with Mikala initially, and right now we are very proud to have our latest baby in the market, Nivera Lotion. And I'm really happy to be telling you guys we're giving each and every one of you, for your wives, for your girlfriends, for your daughters out there back at home, we're giving each and every one of you a hamper that includes Nivera Lotion and Mikala products. And for the ladies, for the beautiful ladies I have seen walking around here today, as you make your way to the washrooms, we have some samples there that you can use for the time being. They were specifically for today. And we are really looking forward to your responses. You can DM us on Nivera Skincare on Instagram, and you can also reach out to our inboxes on Nivera and on Facebook. We're also doing supplies. I know we have been told not to push products, but I think we've been pushing products since we came in, Sinda. We have, Sinda, we have. From the time we walked in through that door, you've been just, if it's not a product, it's a service, right? Yes. From the food you've eaten to the drinks you've had, it's all marketing, but that's why we're here. It's Marketers Night. If there's anything I've missed out on, I will be glad to answer you on a one-on-one. Otherwise, I'm a very lovable person away from the stage. This place and me and staring at people, we are two opposite people. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support. Let me grab my shoes and leave.
For the freelancers, you'd be able to, get paid online. And yes, we did this 8 months ago. We have over 100,000 customers. It offers a lot of convenience. We have moved over 5 billion shillings in this period. And yes, we would like to link you up today. So if you haven't linked your account today, we will give you the support. Just go to the website, like you can see it on the screen, and top up your account or withdraw or link your account. If you have any challenges, I have some of my colleagues around, and we can sort you out. Yeah? Have a great evening.
Silverstone there today. We have just come to participate because our partners in the Marketing Africa. And we also like to urge the members to support us on our local domestic route that we fly. That is Kisumu, Ukunda, Malindi, Mombasa, Lamu, Lodwar, Masai Mara. And now that the market is coming from the traditional market to the digital market, we have now also launched the booking app. You can download the booking app from the Google Play Store, and you can get 10% discounts on your ticket. And for this few remarks, we also come with my teams. We have a very good team here, beautiful ladies, dedicated team. If you need any query, please come seek guidance.
We want to get to the second keynote speaker of this evening. This is the group CEO of Resolution Group. He's not a very old man. He's just about 50 years of age. Father of 4. Has a degree in economics, master's in insurance management, and is also has certification from the Chartered Insurance Institute of the United Kingdom. He's done advanced management programs at the Strathmore University and the Navarra University. Spent 12 years working for insurance companies, working in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Founded Resolution Health in 2002. Forbes Africa, East Africa Entrepreneur of the Year 2013. Former rugby player, chairman of Impala Rugby, and director of Kenya Rugby Union, also director of Jockey Club Kenya, race horses owner, and first African stable co-owner. Are you ready, marketers? Let's put our hands together for the one and only, the only CEO in Eastern Central Africa with a six-pack, Peter Nduati.
That intro. Who wrote that intro? So, guys, I'm starting my speech with problems. Many problems. I'm not sure how many there are because I've heard cognac is my friend. I'm the last speaker for guys who've been drinking. And I'm following Mundia, who spoke very well. And then I used to be a marketer. Kalombo told me marketers don't stop being marketers. Many problems. And then he spoke about Matamuchi. I'm from Dagoretti, so I may slip and slide. And then he gave my age. My problems are many. I wanted to start my speech. That I prepared when I was coming up the stairs. I wanted to start my speech by asking marketers, who owns a brand? Like, am I a brand owner? No. Who owns the brand? All right, so 2 years ago, I disclosed that I was in Punjab University. What do you imagine happens in lifts when I pass somewhere on social media? What do you think people ask me? About Waitito. Seriously, that's my life. Waitito and who? Okay, to get that story out of the way. Those guys were in Punjab University. They were ahead of me. They both graduated. I don't know why they fight in politics. And that's all I'm saying about that. Right. I was in Punjab University. And don't ask me to speak Hindi or Punjabi. You can ask me to sing it. So, my challenge is, my talk is the only has technical nuances. So, the people who live here either very pissed off because I'll bore them. But the only positive thing is I'm not pushing a product like everyone else who spoke today, apart from cognac. So, my topic is sustaining marketing relevance in the new era. Now, you may ask yourself, why was I asked to speak about that? So, because you spoke about my age, in 1992, I got a title marketing manager for an insurance company which had never had a marketing manager. And when I look back today then, it was the easiest job I ever did. Can you imagine media planning in 1992? How many stations did we have of TV? No, KTN had come. Young guys, KTN had come. First of all, it's the first time I saw a color TV. Me, I'm from Dago. I'm not hiding my stories. Now, the only brief I used to give Betty Radiel, you know Betty Radiel? She used to be my account manager at Ogilvy, was get me a solace. You guys know what a solace is? New marketers. It is the left-hand corner of a newspaper that was allowed to run an ad. The job of a media executive was get me a solace. If you get me that, we're good to go. And then, to communicate, everyone used to read Nation. So as long as I'm on page 3 of Nation, okay, I am good to go. And as long as my ad was in prime time, my boss gives me a bonus. Now I'm going to talk about then to now to where I think marketing is going to go. So before I get to these slides, I said cognac is my friend. I need to tell you that I've worn very, very many brands as an individual. So, of course, I'm an insurance graduate, so I'm a chartered insurer. I used to be called an insurance executive. Then I became a marketing executive when I became a marketing manager. And then, after investing in insurance, the brand that I wear today is an entrepreneur. So whatever I talk about today is my own anecdotes. It's not written in a book. It's my experiences. They may relate to you. But if I can change two people's minds about how they do their business today, I'll have done my job. So, yes, I've had a lot of marketing experience. And even up to today, and as I speak, I have to talk about marketing all the time. So, who was here when Kalombo spoke? He called me CEO of Resolution Health stopped existing 6 years ago. We changed to Resolution Insurance. And this is one of the challenges that I'm going to give marketers today. You can create a brand, it resonates with people, and they refuse to let it go. You all know where I worked previously. In 2010 is the last time I got rid of a t-shirt of my former employer, which I had left 12 years ago. If you create a good brand, people own it and refuse to let it go. I've tried, I need to fire all my agencies, to change people to call us Resolution Insurance for the last 5 years. And everywhere I'm introduced as Resolution Health. And maybe sometimes I'm guilty. I've picked the phone once and I said, Peter Nduati Resolution Health. So when you create a brand, people end up owning it and moving ahead with it. Now, please guys, in this room, the company in Kenya is called Resolution Insurance. And then I stopped running it in 2015. So I haven't run an insurance company since 2015. I have not been a CEO of an insurance company since then, but I'm still branded Peter Nduati of Resolution Health. Right. You heard the intro, so we'll skip where I went. Punjab University we spoke about. But this is the only time I'm going to plug in who Resolution Group is. I'm the group CEO of Resolution Group. And Resolution Group is a financial services business in East Africa. We are in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania in different ways. We exited Sudan in 2016 when an investor came in who was an American investor, and they had a problem with Sudan, and they said, look, if you continue in that particular space, we'll be jailed in the US. So we had to exit successively. Then, after divesting from insurance, I set up other businesses. So you probably know that I own Pine Creek Records, Kenya's largest record label. Buy my music, please. Oh, I'm still plugging in. Then I set up early this year an air ambulance business at Wilson Airport called Centric Air Ambulance. Redwood Capital is a fund that invests in early stage entrepreneurs. Don't ask me for money tonight. U Capital is a recent business that we set up as a holding unit. Brown Oak Limited, I'm a good cook. You have to buy broti, maguta. So Brown Oak Limited is a real estate business that we used to develop, now we just buy. But I have interest in other businesses. You all probably know True Black is the third largest experiential agency. We are trying to beat the two ahead of us. I'm involved in Home Africa. I have interest in Home Africa. And I have interest in a business called Absolute Security, which is a security firm that focuses on CCTV. So hence the brand from an insurer to an entrepreneur. My topic today is about relevance and marketing relevance. A lot of us have attempted to do loyalty programs. Guilty as charged. Lift your hands up if you've done loyalty programs recently. It's coming at a very, very high cost. It means that you're giving up something priceless, which I'm talking about tonight, and that's your relevance. The loyalty era of marketing, as we've known it, is gone. It's waning. And it came from us assuming all consumers buy the same thing at the same time at the same price. Cantor Retail did a study early this year. 71% of consumers now claim that loyalty incentive programs don't make them loyal at all. Remember any loyalty program you've done recently, you've absorbed recently, did it make you loyal to the brand? Not anymore. So why do we waste our marketing spend doing loyalty programs? And I'm going to challenge a lot of questions around that. In this new digital era, people are looking for brands, for the brand relevance. How do you relate with a brand? This talks about my life, and I'm not going to take credit for it. This is from HBR. In the 60s and 70s, and sorry, I wasn't a marketer then. Where's James? James has gone home. He was a marketer that time. We used to technology enabler was mass production. Then we moved to the 80s to market research. 1990s was enterprise IT. 2010s, the last guys who got jobs as marketing managers in 2006. CRM was the buzzword. Everyone was talking about CRM. How do you communicate with do you connect with your consumer? Where we are going now, digitization of everything. Now, if you look at the market approach, we used to throw stones in the dark in the 60s and hope you hit something. Today is personalization. If you do not relate to me, to the interests, to the things that I like, you're not going to get that customer. I have a 16-year-old daughter. And I always, all the time, look at her and I think, how is she going to consume products in the future? You know, insurance is very boring, and I'm the first one to admit. And insurance traditionally has been sold by insurance brokers and agents who are very persistent. And I'm the first one to appreciate that business. We've been seen as conmen. We've been seen as bothersome. Okay? Do you think my 16-year-old daughter will buy insurance the way it's sold today? There is no way she's going to buy that way. First of all, she understands insurance better than me who has a degree in insurance. So she already knows what she wants. And she can Google products. There are compare sites. Even in Kenya, we have compare sites. So her offering has to be very, very different. Now, if you're in marketing today, and for your KPIs, you're telling your boss, let's do a promotion. Let's do a loyalty program. You'll be irrelevant in a few years. Let me ask you guys a question so that I can know you're listening. When is the last time anybody in this room went to a travel agent? Anyone? You went. Old school guys. Right. Today, with Booking.com and all airlines having promotions on the internet, the work of a travel agent is gone. The next phase of business that is going to go, sadly for my business, it is insurance brokers and agents. Because consumers want to engage with the insurance company direct. When I talk about it, insurance brokers, they hate on me. The other area that is going to change is the way the advertising agencies work. And if advertising agencies and the entire table are sitting with are in that industry, if they don't watch, they'll be irrelevant. Because we can get media insights ourselves now, right? I probably have better media insights than my agency. Creatives are no longer in agencies. Creatives work in their garages. The problem is delivery, but they do. So today, if you ask me to invest in an advertising agency, I'll tell you absolutely not. The other one, and you've seen radio stations come and go. Sorry, NRG. A radio station has to change its offering. You can't just sit there and feed people stuff without trying to understand what the consumer wants. The consumer is looking for relevance. And these days, like today, we're talking about newspapers. I was in a board meeting at Trublak this afternoon, and the other directors were late, and I read a newspaper for the first time this year. And these guys are putting ads in a newspaper expecting someone like me who is a buyer to buy something. I get my news from Twitter. And Twitter has news before the newspaper has it. They have news before the radio station has it. So if you come today and tell me that the best place for me to place my ad is in a radio station or on TV, you're already making a mistake. If you look at the management focus, thank you very much, experience and personality is the issue that we are looking for. So if you're thinking of investing in a communication agency, put money in an experiential agency because that's the future. People want to experience brands. The future of marketing. I said I'm going to talk about anecdotes. Ikikukula ni yako. Accenture this year shows that in the US market alone, and we look at that market, they are losing $1 trillion in annual revenues to competitors because they are consistently not relevant enough. Loyalty remains important, but in the big picture, you need to be relevant at the moment. And I'm going to talk about details about my industry because that's one of the things that I know. Companies have to become living businesses, creating experiences. You all know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, so I don't need to talk about it. It was published in 1943, and it's still relevant in our days. And all of us who did marketing, the 4 P's of marketing, product, price, place, and promotion, that's gone. There's a problem with that. The 4 P's work on a static archetype of a client, assuming everyone is the same. The reality is that we don't have an archetypal customer. You could have a twin brother, but your needs are not the same. You don't want the same things. You don't want the same experiences. So everyone's needs vary depending on time and context. You heard that I was 50. Well, you should have told people I'm 50. What I used to purchase 5 years ago is not what I purchase today. Many, many things have changed. I used to have a six-pack. And I've told you, said, I'm not sure I have a six-pack. It's there, but it's hidden by something. So with today's technologies, companies have to be able to identify what their customers want on real time and respond to those needs. And I'll give you examples of 2 companies that are doing that. So customers are looking for experiences. So I'm going to give you 5 new P's. And these 5 new P's are, if you want your business to be a living business, you must have these 5 P's. My 5 P's are purpose, pride, partnership, protection, and most importantly, personalization. That is the new marketing. Now, this, if you can capture this, it will give your business relevance. So, if you go back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the highest was what? Self-actualization. That is fulfilling your potential after moving from safety to basic needs. This 5th one, personalization, enables companies to connect with customers around any of all those needs written by Maslow. So let me break down what those 5 P's are. So your business purpose is to make customers feel the company shares and advances their values, not the company's values. Pride, customers feel proud and inspired to use the company's products and services. In Kenya, we are trying to do this by bringing heritage, branding company products Kenya, trying to tag to the patriotic heart. Partnership. Customers feel the company relates to and works with them. We are a partner with the business. Protection is all about security. Do I feel secure working with you? And not about money. Do I feel secure? And then, of course, I've spoken about personalization, which is customers feel their experiences with the company continuously tailored to their needs and their priorities. These are the new 5 P's marketers. Take these 5 P's to heart, and your business will succeed. It is no longer about place and product. But it's very, very difficult in this day and age to satisfy all those 5 P's. So I'm going to give you 3 principles. They are mine. They are my experiences. I hope they just resonate with you. 1, go outside your comfort zone. 2, timing is everything. And 3, don't be loyal to the status quo. Every single day you wake up, forget about yesterday and try and change and adapt. So number 1, go outside your comfort zone. It's not moving? Oh, so do I explain this again? You got it? The 3 principles: go outside your comfort zone, timing is everything, don't be loyal to the status quo. So let's talk about going outside your comfort zone. So I am not rubbishing the traditional 4 P's. They're still relevant, but the success of the past will not get you to the future. So you need to extend your comfort zones in positioning your brand. So consider my business, insurance. We have distributed our products traditionally through agents and brokers. We rarely used to have a direct relationship with a customer and hence had very hard to retain them. How many people here have used Aon, Nite insurance brokers? Anybody? Well, that's a broker. A lot of people used to think that Aon is an insurance company. It's not, it's a broker. Because what Aon positioned themselves is, we service you. You have no idea who your insurer is, so the insurers become plug and play. That's models a dying business. So as insurers, for a long time we left brokers own the customer. So sometimes you give an agent business money, they bring you a fake sticker for your car, and you only find out that that sticker was fake when you have an accident. Because insurance companies, we have the least innovative industry in the world. We never attempted to engage with our consumers. I have to look at myself in the mirror every day and ask myself, what do I do next? Now, with digital insurance, we decided not just to have a distribution platform, but to have a service experience where the customer decides what they want so we don't give them a price anymore. We decide the product they want because the customers understand what they want. So when we attempted digital insurance, and my board and my shareholder was asking me, why do you want to spend money on a self-service portal? Today at Resolution, if you get a child, you don't have to tell your broker. You log on to our website, you log on to your portal, you put your password, you remove the child, you add the new one. If you fire your wife, you bring another one, you have mpango ya kando, you add it, there's securities around it, and it will bill you. You can pay by credit card, PayPal, M-Pesa, because that's our future. Now, brokers and agents will hate me for it, but that's the future of insurance. It has forced us, and I'm not a techie, it has forced me to understand technology. Pushback from agents and brokers, but I keep telling them their business model will not exist in a few years. They have to change. Timing is everything. A key component of a living business is having exactly the right message, experience to the customer, exactly at the right context. This is personalization at its best. So 2 companies I want to talk about, Booking.com, Airbnb. I am not bragging, but the place I am going in December, when I bought the ticket, I log on to Facebook a few minutes later, and Booking.com started selling me hotels. I had not booked the hotel. I just bought a ticket. Airbnb were offering me accommodation in the place I want to go. Guess what? I never bought. An hour later, what do you think they did? Airbnb gave me a 25% discount if I can decide in 25 minutes. They're giving you context when you want it, and that's promotion. Promotion is not running the campaigns we've been running traditionally. That's the future. When you want something, you get it, and you get the promotion right there and then. But you have to adopt into predictive analytics. They offer you in all channels in front of you. Apple users, have you ever Googled something on your iPhone? Then you go to your Mac and you find, as you log onto your Mac, it gives you they even give you more options. Predictive index. Big Brother is watching us. We need to innovate and position our brands that way. And guys, it's not expensive. It's very cheap to use PI. Okay? These 2 companies understand that issue of opportunity. An unwilling customer is a lost opportunity. That's why their offers are calibrated based on your behavior. Not when we get off, but even if you get off Facebook and you log in a day later, Booking.com will offer you a ticket. It will offer you a hotel. That's the future of marketing. Timing is everything. Status quo. Mundia, what did you call the guys who like status quo? Conservatives? In the 50s, tulikuwa hivi. We don't want to change. Why are you trying to make us change? This is my last theme. To succeed in this era, marketers, guys, you must continuously allow yourself change the status quo. The shift in customer journeys is changing so fast. So we should enhance our company's ability to engage in customers in the most relevant ways. To overcome that barrier, some companies have shifted from product focus to platform approach. And I'm going to give you an example that has worked for us this year. In Kenya, people trust their banks more than trust insurance companies. Sad reality, I'm in that industry. You trust your bank with your chums, but you don't trust me who pays you a claim when your house burns. It's our too. So, because we recognize that, one of the banks in this country, I don't want to plug them in, target the same people that I do. Same niche, they communicate the same. So I approached them and I told them, why don't we design a product based on your analytics? What do your customers want? We partnered with them early this year, and we've done revenue of over 500 million year to date. Just by analyzing data, taking their data and understanding, this person lives here, this is what they want. This person requires this. This person bought a car recently, so what do they want? Car insurance. Okay? This person took a loan to pay a hospital bill for maternity, so I need to design a product for their child. 500 million. This is the future. partnerships, collaborate with other parties who have data and who they trust. By the way, the product that bank is selling only has a small line at the end because the regulator demanded powered by resolution insurance. But it's their product. It is called that bank health product. Now what will happen if I screw up? They can plug me and go to my competitor and plug something in. The future is about partnerships and collaborations. I want to close. Today, mobile-enabled consumers are evaluating, reevaluating their purchasing decision every minute. The days I used to go to GPO to send money to Mombasa by buying a money order. Who knows a money order now? Are gone. You're sitting there. Oh, you know, old guys. Today, you can sit there. Your house girl is asking for money for gas. You sent her that money, and you're still looking at me here. Now, if we can do that, why aren't we, as marketers, because we've also been left behind, why aren't we realizing that the world is moving? So for living businesses, remember, customers are looking for brands that are relevant to them, and they'll pay a premium. They'll pay a more expensive price if they feel you're being relevant. So living businesses that achieve a profound degree of relevance will have pricing power and will drive repeat purchases. And those are the ultimate goals of loyalty. Thank you very much.
Maufuna hai ukuya kuna hatani